Good evening to all. How's everybody doing? It is 9:45. Today is September 29th of the year 2024. And after 4 years of a complete, I think that is the most, let me just categorize this. I think that is the most inhuman disaster in possibly in the history of the United States of America in terms to immigration. I think that is the worst disaster in terms to immigration in history. There's no other such a disaster as what this Biden administration has done and the Obama administration, what they have done, because this was brought to you by, you know, Barack Obama itself. But I believe that there's no such thing as, the worst disaster that has ever caused this. Let me just crank up the volume a little bit because I don't know if you guys are hearing me correctly. I can barely hear myself, and the microphone volume goes up and down, up and down. There hasn't been, you know, as a disaster. I covered immigration when Trump was president, and then after Trump, I did a couple of videos. Well, I did a couple of bits in radio station that I was working back in 2015, when the big migration started happening under Obama. And it was here in Tijuana with the Haitian migration that it was almost 15,000 that are arriving in one hit. This has been the worst disaster. This administration itself has been the worst of the worst, has been the one that has completely lost the ball on everything. Even leaders of caravans in the south border of Mexico have said this. Even people that are far, far left, they have said that this administration is a complete disaster. Complete disaster. It is some way that a lot of people say it is planned. It's made to be like this. It is not articulated correctly as they wanted to. It got out of their hands. And why I'm saying that it got out of their hands, because now it is so obvious to the world that it really got out of their hands. You have people that they are potentially, the new statistics and stats that just came out by the Washington Post, that, you got more than 13,000 sex offenders, and I don't know how many thousands that they have committed crimes, and they are already in the United States of America. It's a complete disaster what they have done. After 4 years, let me just tell you, on these 4 years, I have walked, in 2019, I walked my first caravan, I think so. Yeah, 2019 was the first two caravans. In 2020, after Biden came in, I have walked like 9 caravans in the south border of Mexico. All those 9 caravans have been thousands of people. I have walked more than 9 caravans, documented the 9 caravans under the Biden administration. And there has been more caravans than 9 that I couldn't make it because I was possibly in Ukraine, or I was in Israel, or I was in Panama, or I was in some other places, and they just messaged me, the journalists from Chiapas and Tapachula, and like, hey, there's another caravan, you should come over here. I'll be like, I can't make it. I'm over here. There's so many caravans that they were made under the Biden administration. A complete disaster. Complete disaster. You got people, they're from criminal gangs coming in, potential terrorists coming in, infiltrated bad people and on the good people. There's a lot of good people. I have said this multiple times. There's a lot of good people that I have walked with. A lot of them, they're my friends, and they're in the U.S. A lot of people that they entered the country, the United States, under, can say a process. And they're good people. They're working. They're trying to do things right. Even they say it's a complete disaster. I'm running away from bad people, and I intentionally find them here in a caravan or in Mexico or crossing to the United States. And I'm like, how in the hell is this possible? These are the bad people that I'm running away from. And I found them here. And now after 4 years of a complete collateral disaster that this woman and this man have made on 4 years, man, we have risked our lives. They almost took my life in Guatemala for covering migration through natural disasters. Risked my life in Panama in the Darien jungle, Ben Berquam and myself, in a gunfight with the cartel inside. It's just nobody has ever filmed something like that. Real America's Voice News, Ben Berquam and myself, we were the only ones that filmed something so realistic, not talking to cartel members, that I have done that so many times on the border, and they say, we're going to get you, we're going to do this. I have it on film so many times, coyotes and traffickers threatening my life in Mexico over here because you're filming. But let me tell you something. When we film in Panama in the middle of the jungle, a gunfight between the cartel and the authorities of Panama was, my God, and all of these things are caused by the Biden administration. All of it. All of these things are caused by the Biden administration. 4 years of a great disaster. The collateral damage, I always say this, collateral damage. Say hello to people in X. Say hello to the people in X. Say hello to people in X. Thank you. Diesel Dave. Say, Oscar, watch your videos on YouTube. Now on X, thank you so much for your independent journalism. So much more and honest. Thank you so much, Diesel Dave from X. Thank you. God bless you, man. Let me tell you something. I'm just, 11 caravans we have walked and documented. 4 times in the Darien. I'm the only Latino and Mexican who has ever walked as a journalist and documented that jungle 4 times. Ben Berquam is the only Christian American who has ever, a journalist who has ever walked that Darien 4 times also. We know the mass destruction that this has caused. The trafficking of children, the abuse of people through this global compact of migration and the limitations of the borders. What happens on the U.S. side is something else. It's a different ballgame. What happens on the Mexico side, what happens in Central America, what happens in South America will leave you speechless. What happens in the U.S. borders is something else, something that it looks like commercial. It looks like, this is something out of a commercial, really. What happens in South America and Central America, it leaves you speechless, really. And this is the collateral damage that I have told you about, that I continuously say this about, the collateral damage that this has caused. These open border policies, they have incentivized the cartel to grow 200%. The Cartel de Sinaloa, it is colluded in cahoots with the Cartel del Clan del Golfo. The Cartel Clan del Golfo is the one that operates in Colombia, is the one that we encountered inside in the middle of the Darien, is the one that we saw operating in Nicocli in Colombia, where they have the massive distribution of people through the Darien Gap, is the one that is operating massively, trafficking Chinese all the way to the borders with Tijuana, San Diego, and all this place. This is the actual thing, that you have grown them because of your policies, Kamala and Mayorkas, but you're the up and running candidate for the Democrats. Because of your policies, the cartel has grown so much, gained so much technology, so much power, so much money out of the capitalist dollar. A disaster. You created a massive disaster. And now, after you have made several politicians rich, possibly in the US, that they're corrupt, after you already made a lot of politicians or a lot of corrupt officials in Mexico rich, after you already made a business in Central and South America, and a lot of people are making a business out of this illegal migration. It is a living now. You know, we interviewed a coyote in the Darien Gap who used to work for the cartel in Mexico. This Colombian coyote, trafficker, was telling me that he makes a day possibly $100 to $200 a day. You're talking about that this guy that lives on an island, in a random island next to a jungle, making $200 per day out of the capitalist dollar, just taking bags up and helping the migrants with their bags and guiding them to the top of the limitation between Panama, making $200 per day. If you make $200 per day, you're making $1,000 from Monday to Friday. This guy lives in an island far away from population. Out of the taxpayer of the American people, without paying taxes, he's making $1,000 a week. Isn't it nice? These are the jobs that these open border policies have created. And because of this, the cartel has grown so much that they, now you have people that they are making a business out of this. You got shopping carts, you got this, you got that. Got a lot of people making a market. This is because of Kamala Harris and their policies, man. Nobody else. If they had a policy or a strict immigration policies, or just by the law, go by the law with immigration policies. By what the law says. This is what the law says. This is what you have to do. That's it. No loopholes. No, this is the law. You will not have this problem. You have a huge, now it's a massive problem. And it's not a small problem, people. It is a massive problem because now you're not going to fight only the cartel in the borders with the United States and Mexico. Now you're going to fight the organized crime in the central parts of Mexico, in the south part of Mexico. Now you're going to hit if you want to correct immigration, if you want to correct your borders in the United States, now you are going to have to fight them in Central America, in South America, in China, in Turkey, where they're bringing all these migrants from China. 4 years it took you to make a decision and to say, you know what, I'm going to the border and I'm going to show these people what we're talking about. So when she speaks in front of people, now Kamala is saying, we're going to fix this and we're going to be more stronger and we are going to make it more tighter and we're going to create unity. And it's like, wow. I don't know how these Border Patrol agents did not throw up or did not quit at that moment. They were like, I'm done. So this article was released by AP News. Harris walks the fence at the U.S.-Mexico border, and she works to project tougher stance on migration. I don't know why they put a Trump picture if you're talking about Kamala Harris, but says Douglas. Vice President Kamala Harris walked scrubbly stretch along the U.S.-Mexico border on Friday, called for further tightening of asylum and restrictions as she sought to project a tougher stance on illegal migration and address one of her bigger vulnerabilities than the November election. Harris push to further restrict asylum claims moves beyond President Joe Biden's policy on an issue where her rival, former President Donald Trump, has an edge with voters. She balanced tough talk on policing the border with calls for a better way to welcome immigrants legally. She quoted, "I reject the false choice that suggests we must choose either between securing our border and creating a system that is orderly, safe, and humane." This is the global compact. You're using words of the global compact on migration. This is a lie. Look what she's using. My God, if she said this, she's all for the UN. The UN Global Compact of Migration. Let me just type it right here. UN Global Compact of Migration. The UN Global Compact of Migration, I will tell you what it says. And I will put it right here on the screen so you guys can understand why is she using these words. Now, listen to what she said right here. This is why I put this article. She said, "I reject the false choice that suggests that we must choose either between securing our border and creating a system that is orderly, the global compact, safe and humane and orderly migration. We can and we must do both." Let me just put something on the screen so you guys can understand why am I saying this. Because the global compact of migration that it was brought to the West Hemisphere by Barack Obama, it says exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Look what it says right here. On September 19, 2016, head of the state of government came together for the first time at the global level within the UN General Assembly to discuss issues related to migration and refugees, right? You go to the next paragraph. Look what it says. This is so important so you can understand why she's used the word safe and orderly migration. Look why she said that. And I need you to understand why. This is why. You go to the next paragraph and it says, Annex 2 of the New York Declaration set in motion a process of intergovernmental consultations and negotiations towards a development of a global compact. Look what it says: for safe, orderly, and regular migration. And this goes on the bottom. It says the global compact is framed in a way consistent with a target of 10.7 of the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. This woman, it is part of the Agenda 2030. And she is using the same language as the United Nations. I will go again. This is so important for you to understand. So important. I will go to the article again for you to understand. So this is what she said when she visited Douglas. She said this. The article says right there, says, "I reject a false choice that suggests that we must choose between either securing our border and creating a system that is orderly, safe, and humane." Right? What globalist words? And then you go right here to this. What does the Global Compact stand for? It stands for, says right here, Intergovernmental Consultations, Development of the Global Compact in 2016 for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration. Same language, same statement. This means, and also for everybody to understand, even on this article, It says the global compact, it is framed in a way consistent with target of 10.7 of the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. It is part of the 2030 agenda. So basically what Kamala Harris is telling you is that she is not going to get out of the United Nations global compact of migration, that she is going to absolutely continue with the narrative to continue to manage the global compact. Now, let us go right here in the bottom, just for you to understand what are the aims of the global compact on migration. Look, and this will tell you why the same language it is being used, the same language. Now, remember, she said safe and regular, right? Safe and regular. Look what it says right here on the bottom. It says, what are the aims of the global compact on migration? Again, they implement this. It's right in your face, people. But people do not want to see it because I don't know. I don't know if they're blind. I don't know if jeez. It's unbelievable, but look what it says right here. Somebody saying Oscar coffee, but the link won't do anything. Go to the bottom link. Buy me a coffee. It's pinned in the chat. It's really important that you guys help me out and contribute to Independent Reporting and Travel Fund. I'm going to travel soon. But look right here what it says. The Global Compact, it is framed consistent with Target 10.7 of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, in which members of states committee cooperate internationally to facilitate a safe, orderly, and regular migration. On the bottom, it says the points that they are the Global Compact addresses all aspects of international migration, including humanitarian, developmental, human rights related, and other aspects. Humanitarian. Let us go again to what this woman said right here for you to understand how this is so important, that she is going to continue with this disaster. She quoted, "I reject the false choice that suggests we must choose." This is Kamala Harris and Douglas, by the way. She said, "I reject the false choice that suggests that we must choose either between securing our border and creating a system that is orderly, safe, and humane." Same language. Same language. Same language as the global compact of migration. Same freaking language, people. She's not getting out. She is not going to fix it. What they are going to do is create more programs for this to be facilitated and for the cartels to continue to smuggle and use Central and South America as a pentacle and as a jumping rope to get to the United States and make a lot of money out of this. Billions of dollars. Same language. Exactly the same language. She's quoting everything. It's like listening to the Pope, that it's a globalist. Listening to the Pope is the same language that the United Nations use. There's no other way to just not even get it. For a lot of people, this is how bad it is, the global compact. One of the other aims of this is to make an important contribution to global governments. Look what they say. And enhance coordination on an international migration. Enhance coordination with NGOs, facilitating human smuggling more with cartels. Now, another of the aims is present a framework for comprehensive international cooperation on migrants and a human mobility. Those human mobility centers, it is part of this. It's part of this. Another one, set out a range of actionable commitments, means of implementation in a framework for follow-up and review among member states regarding international migration in its all dimensions. One of the last ones, look at this. Be guided by the 2030 agenda for sustainable development and ABBA action agenda. And the last one, be informed by the declaration of the 2013 high-level dialogue of international migration development. It is in your face. We have been talking about it for years. Years. And right now, this woman comes to Douglas and she is using exactly the same linguistics as the United Nations use the same linguistics. Same language. We need to create a safe, regular, and humane migration. What is the Global Compact? The Compact talks about safe, regular, and humane migration. This Global Compact, what it does, you need to accept refugees and asylees through whatever non-port of entry or port of entry, through governmental programs, and also through federal grants to these NGOs, and opens up the borders through asylum and refugee process. Now it is wide in the open. And it is all in your face. I wanted to do this because I wanted to check her language with what is the Global Compact on migration. Again, I always bring this Global Compact because it's the main problem. The number one thing that it needs to happen, the United States needs to get out of this compact, cut the funding to the United Nations in several manners. Not only that, prosecute the people that they were part of this violation, huge violation of human rights. Then you cut the funding to these NGOs. And after you cut the funding, you give the funding to the NGOs that you audit and they're legitimately helping people. But the ones that they were just taking advantage and they're in cahoots with the cartel, you prosecute and you investigate all these people. And then you expose all these people for what they have done. One thing leads to another because all of the federal grants that they are habilitated in giving to these NGOs, they're out of your taxpayer money, and it's all follow the money. After you expose the NGO, after you audit the NGO, you will know who was funding that NGO. Which congressman in Congress in the United States of America was consistently funding and saying, no, give it to them, give it to them, give it to them. So you go for one step to another. It is a chain of events. So now that you have a possibility that Donald Trump will come into office, these people are so afraid now that she needs to do something out of desperation. And what she did out of desperation? She did this. She just basically went to the border to so-called visit the border, walk with Border Patrol officials next to the border wall, talk to these border officials just to say to them, hey, you know what? Yes, we're going to try to fix it. We're going to try to tighten it a little bit. Tighten it. We're going to try to do the best we can. Fix it. What is there to discuss? What is there to talk about more than what you have created because of your policy? What is there to talk about? What is there to discuss? This is, the most hypocritical visit possibly in history of a politician into the border map. The same person that created this problem, is the same person that is going over there to try to just make it look like I'm going to try to fix it. The same person that created this massive problem is the same person that is going over there and walking with Border Patrol agents just to make it look as a photo op. And to making everybody look like she's doing something. How do you think these Border Patrol agents feel? How do you think these Border Patrol agents basically are dealing with their PTSD every time that they go home? How do you think that they feel? Think they feel okay going back home and just saying like, oh, I just processed another 2,000 today, honey. How was it? It was bad, but tomorrow let's see if it gets better. Then you go next day and it's like, oh, I just processed another 2,500 today. It's not good at all, but try to do the best. Okay. Then the next day it's like, oh, I just processed another 3,000 today. It's just, we were in a gunfight today with the cartel, and we couldn't do anything to them because it's inhuman. So we need just to stay quiet and not say anything. No, it's Friday. I hope that it gets better. Oh, the cartel was fighting on the other side. It's a gunfight between them in Mexico, but it's okay. I'm safe. I'm over here. Oh, by the way, we processed another 3,000 today. It's just exhausting. I just can't do it anymore. And every time we do that, and this is the thing. Sadly, a lot of the Border Patrol agents are not, I understand them. They don't want to say exactly what is going on. Why? Because it's not that they don't want to. It's not that they don't want to just talk about it. Is that they're tired and they want to keep their job. They got families, and they got people that they have to go back to, and they got children, and they got school bills, and they got car bills, and they got rent, and they got house to pay, and they prefer to stay quiet and let this roll with the punches and see where it's going to be led, and see where it's going to go. But how hypocritical these people, let me just pause the video, because this is one of the things that I want to say, that this is the most hypocritical thing, man, ever. Let me just pause it right here at a moment. You see right here. Let me just pause this right here. This is the same woman who has been consistently saying that the wall is full of hate, that the wall is for division, that the wall, it is divisive, that the wall, it is racist, that the wall, it is fascist, that the wall, it is narcissist, that wall, it is xenophobic, that wall, it is part of an imperialism, that wall was put by a dictator. This same woman that arguably she agrees with all of those terminologies that I just told you. And this same woman that followed Joe Biden with these same terms to say, we are going to stop the construction of the wall, are the same ones that they are going right now. It's just so, man, they have no shame. They're so hypocritical. Same ones that they're going right now and walking on the other side of the wall and saying, we need more security. Jesus, my God. And we're going to tighten the security. And we need to create something more safe, regular, and humane. Same language that is being used in the Compact of Migration. Same language. Yes, the son of George Soros has been sitting down with Tim Walz between Kamala running her campaign and trying to make it as a president, God forbid. Tim Walz, it is the puppet of Kamala, and he's sitting down talking to, the son of George Soros, Alex, I think that is his name, and, creating the agreements on how they're going to continue with this, with the open borders, with the continued disaster of the security of the border of the United States. And doing exactly the same. What they're doing right now. Nothing. At the meantime, the Cartel on the other side is making hundreds of thousands of dollars out of the American taxpayer money. The NGOs are making hundreds of thousands, and they're making millions out of federal grants. Making millions out of federal grants. And you have politicians, dirty politicians, that they're making millions out of this also. Do you continue with this business to create an agenda? Let me just tell you, this is the agreement that created this business. The Global Compact of Migration. Instead of helping, it is a business. And let me just go right here for everybody to understand. They're part, and it say it right here to your face. Be guided by the 2030 agenda. I don't know how people, man, are, still they don't get it. Let me play you this video. That is the sustainable development of the 2030 agenda and the objectives of the Global Compact on Migration. Let me just get you this video for you to understand. Let me just go right here. Where is it? I think I opened another window. Yeah, this one. Let me play you this video so you guys can get it and understand.
The Agenda for Sustainable Development and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals, we have an unmissable opportunity to harness the development potential of migration, to support beneficial outcomes, starting with reducing inequalities and putting the right policies in place to ensure safer, more orderly and regular migration.
Did you just see that? Same language. What did Kamala Harris said on her statement when she visited Douglas? I'm going to read it. I'm not going to put it on the screen because we had that video. She said, I reject the false choice that suggests that we must choose either between securing our border and creating a system that is orderly, safe, and humane. Right? What it says right here. Safe, more orderly, and regular. You leave the humane part out of it because it's all about humanitarian, being more humanitarian. Look what it says right here. Let's go more to the video.
Migration has been a long-standing coping strategy for people to pull themselves out of poverty, to cope with lack of basic infrastructure, or search for better opportunities. People's reasons to move can also be influenced by conflict, natural hazards, or environmental conditions linked to climate change.
I will love to see, and this is a question, I'm not making fun out of it, but I will love for myself. It says, migration out of natural hazards, environmental conditions, earthquakes, natural hazards, tornadoes, volcanoes, whatever. And the last one, it is climate change. I will love to get a case of a migrant out of all the 7 years that I have been documenting migration, almost 7 now years that I have been documenting migration. I will love to get one single migrant that it can tell me that that he or she are running away from their country because of climate change. And this, I'm sorry to say this, but if a migrant comes to the United States of America right now and says, I used to live in, I don't know, let's say a country that is saying that are climate change, China. I used to live in China, and because of climate change, I cannot live over there. That migrant, it is going to get admitted, vetted, and immediately into the United States. Because the compact, the same language that I just told you that Kamala is using, talks about the migration that is going to occur only for natural hazards, environmental conditions linked to climate change. Let's continue with the video.
And in a global context of rapid urbanization, movement of people is increasingly taking place to cities and urban areas.
No. The movement of people, because of your compact, and because you have created an incentive that the only country that it has the solution is America. No. Reaching local communities and societies. No. You are putting people to walk through the jungle as it is a commercial travel agency. And the cartel, it is using them and making billions of dollars out of your enhancement. Migrating in the back of a tractor trailer. Through deserts, through seas, through tunnels, through jungles, through mountains. This is not enriching local communities.
Enriching local communities and societies, both where migrants are and where they come from. The knowledge, skills, and experience that migrants bring and gain in new places contribute to the labour force in key sectors such as health, and play a vital role in building diverse and productive societies. Migration can empower women economically and socially and help people realise their personal aspirations and educational potential. This encourages innovation, which benefits science, technology, and industry. With increased earnings, migrants are able to send financial support to family members back home.
What a business. What a business. Nayib Bukele said, why am the president of El Salvador, why am I pushing my people to get out of my country when I can fix my country and all those people, the people that they're talented, that they're going to another country to be exploited or to have a better future over there, send money over here, and it is a vicious circle. That money comes out, that money goes in, that money comes out. It's a sustainable business. It's a sustainable economy. It goes in and it goes out.
This is critical to help reduce hunger and strengthen the resilience and sustainability of poorer communities.
Why don't we fix their countries? Instead of pushing these people to make them think that their idea to get out of their country, to go to a better country and provide economy to be sent to their countries, why you don't go to their countries and try to fix the problem? Why Venezuela is still struggling? Because they have a communist regime and a dictator. Why countries do not get together to fix that problem? Why? No, the idea is to push them out and to continue with this narrative that people need to get out of their countries and migrate to a better place.
But none of these benefits are guaranteed. We can only achieve all of this by upholding human rights, fostering peace and security, ensuring
peace and security. The administration where more migrants have died between the limitations of Mexico and the United States of America has been the Biden administration. Peace and security.
Equal access to justice and protection from exploitation for all. We also need to build strong partnerships in our cities, within our countries and regions, and globally through international cooperation. Migration is everyone's business. Together.
What the hell did they just said? Even they say it in your face. Migration is everyone's business. It's not everyone's right. Migration, it is not a human right. Migration, it is not a necessity. Migration, it is not a way to get to a better country and be a better human being and exploit your talents. Migration is everyone's business. Right there. Global Compact on Migration from the United Nations says right there. I'm not lying. It says, let me just return it back so you guys can understand. It is everyone's business.
Migration is everyone's business.
Let me just return it again so you guys can hear it.
Migration is everyone's business.
Migration is everyone's business. It's a business. Sheesh. Unbelievable that they even have it on a commercial, man. To have the audacity to say it like that. But the liberals are going to say, no, you're comprehended differently. What they're saying is everyone should be involved and everyone should be working together and holding hands. Oh my God, you're such a xenophobic fascist.
Together, we can ensure that we leave no one behind.
So nice. Co-funded by the European Union. So many NGOs from Sweden. You have the gigantic problem in Sweden also, by the way, with this. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. So many times when I have been in multiple shows, they have asked me about this compact. I have read the compact from top to bottom. And I have even explained it in the War Room with Steve Bannon. Even with Steve Bannon has brought me in and says, Oscar, you have been for years telling us that this is the problem, the compact of migration, the compact. Now we're seeing that this is actually the problem. It is the problem. This compact of migration, it is the most inhuman agreement in history for people that are in mobility. It is not secure. It is not safe. And it is not providing a better life. It is only putting migrants at stake, creating the idea of xenophobia, hatred towards them because they are being possibly targeted because of the bad migration that comes with good migration, and the infiltrated individuals that they're damaging the image and the reputation of the good migrant that wants to come and work and provide. But because of your compact and your regulations and all these NGOs, that you're actually allowing these NGOs to fight and to say everybody deserves to come in. I don't care if they have a bad record, they deserve to come in. Because of that, you have a disaster. A complete disaster. Thank you so much for joining in. I wanted to do this video. just for you to analyze. And when you go to sleep, try to understand the language that these people are using. This woman is using the same language that the UN uses. Same language. Same language. Just the facts. Thank you so much for sharing my coffee. Buy me a coffee app. You guys want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund? We have a lot of plans to go, but it's, the traveling is kind of expensive. So that's where I'm having struggles. South America. Also, we want to go back to the Middle East. Hopefully we will go back again to broadcast the attacks that they have been happening from Hezbollah to Israel. So this is the actual reality. When you study this for years and you get to understand the reality of this system, how they are basically taking advantage of and making a lot of money out of it, you get to understand that a lot of people are not going to like it, the way that you're explaining things. And they're going to accuse you, oh, you're a sellout to your own people. No. You're making money out of our people. The one that is selling out is you, because you know that these people are making money out of our people just to drag them into this idea that this American dream coexists and then they're going to be okay as soon as they get to the United States of America. And it is a complete lie. Complete lie. And it is an evil agenda behind it. And they even said it right there, Agenda 2030. They're not even shameful. They're not even lying to you. Migration is everybody's business. It says right there. It tells you. They're not even lying about it. It's not even like they're hiding it anymore. It's like it's everybody else's business, It's a business. Isn't Nancy Pelosi said, why I don't understand why they're shipping immigrants to somewhere, shipping like it's a product. She has used that word. Why they're shipping migrants when we need them in Florida to pick the vegetables. Only for that. Jerry Nadler, disgusting Jerry Nadler. We need illegal immigrants to pick up the lettuce because if not, it's going to rot in the field. Mr. Indicted, the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, said, we have a lot of immigrants in New York. A lot of them know how to swim, so we're going to make them lifeguards. Wow. But they're not racist. No. That's not racist. That's giving them an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Right? How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. 53 minutes with 36 seconds going into this live feed. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. It has been a pleasure, being with you guys today. Nice to say hello to every single one of you. We'll listen to your comments or statements. Buy me a coffee. It is right there. Guys want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Buy me a coffee is right there. I think that there's a couple of people that did donated a coffee. Let me just see. Says Sandy. Sandy bought me 3 coffees. Thank you so much, Sandy. My God, thank you. Somebody said, not gonna lie, the Eric Adams line did make me laugh, though. Make me laugh a little bit. Yeah, it's laughable, man. It's laughable, but it's just so racist. These people are so racist, man. And they talk about racism, and they talk about that they're fighting the racism that is out there. It's so crazy how these people are. They denigrate people. The Democrats talk about you're a minority, the mentality to make you less, to make you inferior. That's the mentality, to make you a victim. And so you can depend on social programs, and can you always have that victimized mentality. And you're always going to be managed psychologically that you are a victim of the white man. When the United States of America, it is everybody's equal in the eyes of God. Yes, there's racism everywhere. but you can actually stop it, and you can actually denigrate that word just by not creating your idea that you're a victim. And it is because of the white man. Saludos, Oscar. Tanto tiempo sin verte, ya no haces transmisión en español. Sí, sí hago, Ramón. Ahorita nomás estoy haciendo en inglés. Saludos, un abrazo. Let me just read some comments. The Americans are the real victims. Well, America is a continent, so I can tell you that I'm American also. But if you're saying U.S. citizens are the victims, well, your government is doing this to you, not nobody else. Your government, Rodney, not nobody else, brother. Is your own government, your own Congress, your own Senate, your own president, that he's an incompetent fossil, your own vice president. They're the ones that are doing this. And they're making that out of your own tax-paying money. Out of your tax, out of your hard work. They're making all of this. You know, the trillions, the billions that are being sent to Ukraine, it is out of your tax-paying money. The war that is being funded in Israel, it is out of your tax-paying money. The billions that they have spent on the border, that nobody talks about that, but they have spent so much money on the border that it's where's the money, man? You haven't fixed the problem. It's gotten 3 times worse. It is out of your tax-paying money. It is your own government that is doing this to you. Nancy says they're making decisions without with our tax money that aren't really representing the mainstream feelings. I don't understand that, but did America buy the people and had them shipped to America, just like the days of slavery? You know, it's really hard to just listen to that language, but that's what Nancy Pelosi said. You know, that's why are we shipping immigrants? And it's like, wow, man, are you that disgusting to say that? And they are. You know, they're really disgusting. You know, some of these progressive mercenary activist liberals and politicians, they don't care. They will say it to your face. One more comment. Okay, here's the correct comment. They're using our tax money, but not representing us. Most people do not want their money spent being sent to other countries and not be used to protect our border. Agreeable. Got 2 minutes. One more comment, one more question. We're going on 1 hour of this live stream. Thank you so much for joining in. I just wanted to do this live for people to understand the same linguistics that Kamala Harris is using and that she used in Douglas, Arizona. It's exactly the same that she used in Douglas, Arizona. Taxation and no representation. Kamala is another anchor. Well, I don't like those kind of comments, man. I'll respect you, Pam Jackson, but I don't want to read those kind of. Silver Sack says, I think we are all in accord that we want to help others, but help U.S. first. It always has to be like that. Well, let me read it. Kamala's an anchor baby. Mother was in U.S. from India, and father was from Jamaica, and is Irish and Indian descent. What the hell? What? Kamala is an anchor baby. Mother was in U.S. She was in the U.S., but she's from India. And the father was from Jamaica and is Irish and Indian descent. Oh, wow. Mother moved to Canada when Kamala was 7. Kamala came back to go to college. I don't get it. It's so you know, it's going to be hell the next 2 years when Trump wins. In reference to what riots and all those kind of things that they're gonna, but you need to enforce the law. That's what you need to do. Give the power to the law enforcement and leave it alone. Support them, and that's it. Stop all this stupidity of defunding the police. It's a stupidity, it's just so stupid. You want to defund the police, and then when you get robbed or when you get mugged, you're calling the police, and you're just like, we cannot attend you because we don't have funds to attend you. My God, what are we doing? It's like you're defunding the police. Stop all this defunding of the police. Give the power to your military. Give the power to the law enforcement, and that's it. That is it. Just leave it alone, man. And it will be fixed. Give the power to law enforcement. That's it. Thank you so much for joining in. We will see each other tomorrow, almost at the same hour. God bless you all. Stay safe. 10:47 over here at night. It is almost 11, 1:47 over there where you guys are at in East Coast time. 12:47 Central time. 10:47 West Coast. Late. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. Take care.